In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can legally steal $100,000 from the bank. I've done this many times. I've been in credit for 6 years now. I've successfully stolen over $500,000, and all of this money is at 0% interest rate for a minimum of 12 months. So today I'm going to give you a complete guide. You can be coming here with zero credit whatsoever. I'm going to show you exactly how to get it done. So strap in, get a notepad out, because I'm about to blow your mind. Okay, so first step, we need to build our personal credit history. Personal credit is the backbone to everything. If you don't have a good personal credit foundation, you're not going to get approved for any business cards, no home loans, no car loans. You can't live in a nice apartment, nothing. So this is crucial, and I advise you to take this very seriously. Step one, what we want to do is we want to jumpstart our entire process here by adding an authorized user card to our credit profile. So what this means is this is someone's primary account that's calling their bank and they're saying, hey, I would like to add Johnny to this account. And they're going to go ahead and they're going to add you as an authorized user. They'll send an extra card in the mail, and then that person can just keep that card, or if they want to let you use their money, they can give it to you. But what this does is this piggybacks on their history. So now you're going to take their primary card that has a high credit limit, that has been open for 5 to 10 years, and that has under 10% utilization, and you are going to now have that reporting to your credit report. This is going to boost your credit age. This is going to boost your overall credit limit, and it's going to bring down your utilization if you have other cards that have high utilization. So this is an ultimate hack, and by doing this first, you are not going to have to get a secured credit card as long as you do this on a good account. Now, this can backfire. If you add yourself onto someone's credit card that has a high credit balance, that also has, a low limit and has late payments, that is going to negatively affect you. So whatever you add is going to reflect. So make sure this person's very responsible, and you can make a deal with them. Just say, hey, look, I just need it for a couple months, and then you can take me off. I'm not going to spend your money. You can cut the card in half. I just need it for the history. Okay, so that's step one. I've done this with my grandma. She put me on a credit card that had 20 years of history, and it significantly helped my score. Okay, after you've done this, you need to go to Chase. Chase is the #1 tier 1 bank in America. They are going to be your best friend. You never mess with this bank. You literally want to milk them with everything you got. Bring them freaking gifts when you walk in there. Okay, this is where all of the money is. So when you go to Chase, you want to set up a personal checking account and a business checking account. Okay, you want to then season these accounts with money. Okay, so if you have $5,000, that's a great number. If you can put $5K in your personal checking, $5K in your business checking, shake the dude's hand and walk out, that's incredible. We want to let this money sit there for about 30 days and let that authorized user report on our credit profile for a few months, and then we can go ahead and apply for our first card. Now, the other step was create an LLC. You can't open a business checking account unless you have a business. So I like to use LegalZoom. It's a couple $100. They do everything for you. They shoot you over your articles of organization and your EIN number, and now you have a business, and you can go ahead and apply for business credit soon. Okay. Now, very important when it comes to your business, you want to have a discrete business name. Do not say Collins Crypto Community. You will be banned. You will not get money if you have crypto in the name, if you have lending in the name, anything high risk in the name, very bad. Make it random. Make it your dog's name. My first LLC was called Calendana LLC. I have no idea what that even means. It just sounded cool. Okay, now the next important thing is low risk industry type. Banks are not going to lend to you if you're in construction or real estate. That is very high risk. You want something very low risk, no machinery, no overhead, right? Consulting, marketing, advertising. Stick to that. All right. Now, we are done with the first part. Now it's time to get into the fun. Okay. So now we're going to get into the actual credit cards. Okay. So the first card that I'm going to have you apply it with is the Chase Freedom Unlimited. This is a great beginner card. They'll probably approve you for $500 to $2,000. You're going to get an initial sign-up bonus. So on your first credit card, you get a 20,000 point sign-up bonus. You can get 0% for 15 months. Now, remember, we don't want to leave balances on personal credit cards, because if you leave a high balance past the statement date, your utilization is going to report high and your credit score is going to plummet. It's not good. Now, if you don't care about getting business credit and you just want to scheme the banks and you want to put some, spend on these cards and let it float for 15 months, go ahead, take advantage, but you are going to negatively impact your score. Okay, so we want to pay these cards off 4 to 5 days before the statement date. Okay, and we want to use these cards for everything. No more using a debit card. Once you get your first credit card, you only spend on that, right? Now, we're going to get this card and we're going to spend on it for at least 90 days. Okay, 90 days, putting everything on this card, paying it off 5 days before the statement date. Then we're going to sign up for Credit Karma or Identity IQ. Okay, Identity IQ is better. It's your FICO score on Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. And you want to monitor your credit report. So every month I would check it after your statement date, make sure everything's reporting. Make sure your credit card's reporting. Make sure the balance is reporting at 0 because you're paying it off before the statement date. And once you've had this card for 90 days, on the 91st day, we're going to go back into Chase. I like to personally go into the branch, keep that relationship tight. And if you don't have a branch near you, it's okay. You can apply online for these first 3 cards, no problem at all. And we're going to apply for our second credit card. Okay, this is a long process, but slow and steady wins the race in credit. Okay, you cannot afford to make mistakes. They are very costly, and I've done this process 1,000 times now with so many clients, and I know it works perfectly. Okay, your second card, this is an intermediate card. This is going to be an airline partner card. Chase has United as their airline partner. You get a free check bag, you get points whenever you spend on this card, you get club lounge access, and you get a 60,000 sign-up bonus miles, which is amazing, okay? This card is going to be a higher credit limit because it's intermediate. It's got more perks. It's a little harder to get approved for. You would not get approved for this card as your first one, okay? So it's very important we stick in this order. This card will probably give you 5K, maybe 7K, okay? Great. Now we have 2 credit cards. We want to continue to spend on the first one, but we want to spend more on this second one. So what I like to do on cards that I don't use as much anymore, I just put a subscription on it, a Netflix, my electricity, okay? Put it on there. It's going to spend automatically. Put it on auto pay. You never have to worry about it again. This second card we want to use. We want to hit that sign-up bonus, right? You usually have to spend like 3K or more to hit the sign-up bonus. And we're going to keep spending on that card, building that history, paying it off 5 days before the statement date. Make sure you're not paying off on the due date. Make sure you look at the difference between the statement date and the due date. Statement date is what matters because that is what reports to the credit bureaus. So if you pay it off on the statement date or after the statement date, your balance of, let's say, 30% or 40% could now report to your credit report, and now that's going to negatively impact your score. So we always want to be safe, pay it off 5 days before, okay, and always be monitoring your credit report. Same thing, use this card for 90 days. On the 91st day, we're going to apply for the big bad boy, Sapphire Reserve. Okay, this is one of the best personal cards. It's a minimum 10K limit, okay? The only thing they'll approve is 10K minimum or higher, all right? So this is going to be a big daddy limit. This is your first advanced card. It's a metal card. You get 3x points on food and travel. You get a nice hefty 60,000 point Chase Ultimate Reward sign-up bonus. And when you transfer or when you redeem these points for travel in the Chase Travel Portal, you get 1.5 times more points. So it's a multiplier. Okay. You also get free TSA pre. You get lounge access at Priority Pass lounges. It's an epic card. Okay. Now you have a trifecta. This is what I like to call the Chase trifecta. You have a beginner card, an intermediate, and an advanced card. Lenders see this when you're applying to business cards and they love it. They're like, all right, this guy knows what he's doing. He's got perfect payment history on all these cards. This is amazing. Now, those are 3 primary accounts. You also probably have an authorized user. That is not a primary though. Primaries are weighted differently on your credit report. So 3 is the absolute minimum before you go and apply for business, but I would highly recommend you have at least one of the following. You want to have maybe a mortgage, a personal loan, a car loan, or a student loan. Okay. Installment loans are different than credit cards. Okay. Installment loans report positively and you can leave balances on them. As long as you're paying the monthly payments on these installments, they are going to boost your credit score. A lot of people don't know this, but your types of credit, okay, this is called a credit mix, weighs 10% of your credit report. Okay. So this is very important. Payment history is 35%. Amount owed, which is utilization, is 30%. So imagine if you just make 100% on-time payments 5 days before your statement date and you keep your credit card balances at zero, you already knocked out 65% of the total weight of your score. Okay, so you're crushing it. New accounts, okay, this is inquiries, all right, how many accounts you're opening. This is fine, and you're not going to be too negatively effective as long as you're spreading them out. Remember, I said you have to use each card for 90 days. Okay, so after you do the first 3 cards, that has been 9 months. It's not that bad. Right? As long as you have under 3 inquiries in a 6-month span, you're going to be okay. Okay, then you have the length of history. A short history isn't a bad thing, but if you show responsible credit management over a long time, that's much better, right? And that is why it's so important to get that AU. Okay, this AU is going to boost our score like crazy. Okay, we're going to jumpstart everything just by adding it. So this is very important, and this is very, very important, right? The more accounts, the better. So ideally, you have 4 to 5 personal accounts. Okay, credit cards are primary accounts, and these are primary accounts. They're just different. They're installments. Okay, installment loans are fine as long as you're making the payments. Right, so now that you have all this set up, you should have at least a 700 plus credit score. Okay, all of your balances should be paid off. No late payments, no derogatory marks, and under 3 inquiries in the past 6 months. Now we're ready for the fun. Business credit, okay? Now I'm going to introduce you to a business credit stack. This is a very basic and beginner business credit stack, but it's still super powerful. And if you do everything right, you can get up to $50,000 at a 0% intro rate just by following this, okay, for free. All right, so let's talk about it. Okay, the first card that I want you to get is going to be the Amex Business Platinum or the Amex Business Gold. You can get whatever one is right for you. The gold is awesome because you get 4x points on ad spend and on food. And I do a lot of business dinners. I eat out a lot. Okay. Those points really add up. But the cool part is these charge cards, these are charge cards. So there's no credit limit. Okay. It's spending power. So you can literally, once you're using these for a long time and you're spending a lot on your business, you can spend $100,000 on one swipe on this gold card or this platinum card. Okay, I have conditional approval for $350,000 on my cards, and I can buy a freaking car if I wanted to on it, right? Because I have so much history. So this gets you in the door of Amex. And the cool thing about Amex is they only pull 1 inquiry. Okay, so your first card ever with them, they're going to pull a hard inquiry. But now for the next 2 cards, they're not going to pull anything. Okay, so if you already have an Amex before you apply for these other 2 cards, amazing. You're not going to have any hard pulls whatsoever. All right, so the Amex Business Platinum is going to give you Centurion Lounge. Okay, you're going to get 1.5x on purchases over $5,000. And like I said, it gets our foot in the door with Amex, and it's going to prep us for these next 2 cards. Now, these next 2 cards, we're going to get the Business Plus first, okay? And this is a 0% interest for 12 months. Remember, business cards do not report to your personal credit history at all. They're invisible, and you can leave balances on them. They don't report utilization. Utilization does not matter on business cards. All you do is owe 1% monthly payments of your balance. So if you're using $10K total on that balance, you only owe $100 every single month for 12 months, and then you pay off the entire thing at the end before the interest starts, okay? That's the idea, at least. Now, really cool hack with these cards. This is some secret sauce. Let's say they approve you for $7K, okay? You get the card in the mail. You can do a credit limit increase. You call the number on the back, request 3 times the limit you were approved for, and 9 times out of 10, you get approved for it, okay? Once you've been approved for the first Amex, the Business Plus, now you're going to apply for the second Amex, the Business Cash. Okay, this is another 0% for 12 months. And same thing, when you get this card in the mail, call the number on the back, ask for 3X. Worst thing that happens, you don't get approved, but at least you got it on the first one. Okay. So imagine turning a 7K limit into a 21K limit. Right, that's what happened with me. Now, some really good tips for these is going to be always saying you're employed. On these applications, even if you own a business, you're employed by your business. Banks don't want risk. If they're risking money to a new entrepreneur, that's not good. Okay, so you can be an entrepreneur, but you're employed by your business. So always say employed. Do not say self-employed. Okay, be optimistic with your estimated revenue and your monthly spend. Remember, there is no income verification. Okay, they are not checking on your tax returns. This is unsecured debt. Okay, zero verification. They're asking, how much is your business going to make? Be optimistic, right? Why would we get in the business if we're not going to become a multimillionaire? That's the idea. That's why we're doing this. Support our family and go to the moon. We want to grow as fast and as large as possible. So we want to say that we have multiple employees, or at least we're going to hire them, right? 3 to 5 employees. We're going to be spending 20, 30K a month on our card. And I'm going to be making 500K this year in my business, right? This is all my plan. This is my game plan. That's what I'm going to tell the banker on the application. Okay. Now let's go into the next ones. Now remember, all 3 of these cards, you only got 1 inquiry because Amex only pulls once. Okay. So now we're under 3 inquiries going into Chase. So now we can go ahead and we can apply for the Business Inc. Unlimited. This is a 0% for 12 months. And the most important thing here is building a relationship with the relationship manager at the branch. Okay. So, as I say here, apply with a relationship manager at the branch. If your relationship manager is cool, they let you do it over Zoom. I personally have a good relationship with mine, and she sends me a DocuSign. I fill it out. I tell her how much money I want for this business, and she'll do her best to deal with the underwriter and get it approved. Okay. So 0% for 12 months. You get higher limits. Your chance of getting approved for a higher limit are much better if you apply directly with the RM because they work direct with an underwriter. It's not going through a robot AI system when you're just applying online. Okay. The other cool thing about this card is they have huge sign-up bonuses. I got a 100,000 point sign-up bonus on my last one. Incredible. Okay. Now, once you're approved for this one, you can go ahead and apply for the second one, the Business Cash. Now, they have an internal rule at Chase called the 5 and 24 rule. You cannot have more than 5 personal accounts open in the past 24 months and get approved for another Chase card. So that is why we built out our profile like this. Okay, so we only have 3 personal cards, okay, and then 1 of the following. So 4 to 5 accounts. You cannot have more than 5. If you have more than 5, within 24 months and you apply for any Chase card, you will be denied. Okay, so keep that in mind, and that's why you want to follow this instruction and you want to do Chase first. Chase is always going to be the first bank you want to get everything with because then you get the 5 and 24 out of the way. We get all the best cards, and then we can apply for all the other tier 1 banks. Okay, so if you do this correct, you now have 4 0% business cards at the 2 best banks in America. You're building a relationship with them, and you only have 3 to 4 inquiries total. And the best part is we can wipe off the business inquiries because they are not tied to personal accounts. These credit cards are not showing up on our personal credit file. Only the inquiries that were used to apply for these cards will show up, but we can remove them, okay, with hard inquiry removal. And I have this inside of Credit Class, my private credit community with over 1,000 members, and I show you the exact step-by-step method to wipe your inquiries once you've done a funding round. And once you've done that, you can then apply on a brand new business for a whole nother round of funding. You can go back to Amex, you can go back to Chase, you can go to US Bank, you can go to Bank of America, and you can do this all over again. So the most important thing is keeping this as your foundation. You never want to mess up your personal credit file. This is your rock. This is your foundation. You want to build a solid foundation for the rest of your life. Keep paying these cards off. Keep it clean. Okay. And whenever you want to fund a new business, you can, because they only look at your personal credit when you're applying for business cards. Okay. So next, it gets really fun. I'm not going to give you this on today's call, but we have at least 4 more cards that you could do on the first sequence on this first LLC. Okay. These are with smaller banks, local credit unions, and inside Credit Class, we give you a state-by-state 0% business credit guide. Okay. So right here, there is a state-by-state guide that gives you every single state and every 0% offer per state. Typically, there's up to 15 additional banks after the tier 1, Chase, Amex, US Bank, Bank of America, that we can apply to, that we can build relationship with. They offer lines of credit. They offer 0% for 22 months, some of these banks. Okay, and every state is different. And inside my private community, my team and I have built a database after working with thousands of clients with thousands of banks for every single state. So all you do is you take your business state that you have your business in, you click on that state, drop down arrow. I show you the exact instructions and importance of the order of importance for every single 0% card in that state that you're going to apply for. Now, even better, inside of Credit Class, we give you a customized game plan. So as soon as you join, you fill out your credit deep dive form, which lets me and my team know exactly where you're currently at on your credit journey. With the answers we send back, you are now going to have a perfect game plan to execute on to have your personal credit file perfect. That's optimized file. And then I'm going to give you the exact step-by-step to apply in order for all of the best business cards for that state, so you get max funding of $50,000 to $100,000 or more. It's all about your personal credit. If you have a solid personal credit file with huge limits, a lot of age, then you're going to do so much better. Okay. Now, additional things we have inside of Credit Class 2.0 is a personal credit course. Okay. A full video course, business credit course. We have over 45 hours of content in our courses. In addition, you get an internal bank rule guide. Every bank, just like the Chase 5 and 24 rule, okay, there is a Bank of America rule. There is an Amex rule. There is a US Bank rule. Every single bank has these rules, and we work directly with relationship managers at each one of these tier 1 banks that we happily will introduce you to, and you can apply directly through them to get the highest limits. We also have a hard inquiry database. This is very important once we start applying for these additional cards, because now once we get up to 3 inquiries, okay, we need to go ahead and we need to start being strategic about where we're applying. So we have a database state by state that shows which bank pulls from which bureau, TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. So we can freeze the bureaus and make them pull from one or the other, depending on how many inquiries we have at that current time. This is very important once you're getting up to 10 plus credit cards in one sequence. Okay. Like I said, we have a credit repair course that comes with all the letters and the templates. All you got to do is print them out, fill out your information, send them in. No more paying for credit repair. Hard inquiry removal guide. This is a 7-day maximum routine. I do this all the time. We have a number you call. We have some forms that you fill out. You send them in. We wipe the inquiries. Any inquiry that's not tied to a personal account can be removed. We then give you, and this is the most important part, 6 different proven investment opportunities with 0%. Now, I've been in 0% for 6 years now. These are all 0% business cards. I've invested in Bitcoin mining. I have my own Bitcoin mining company. We work with hundreds of high net worth individuals. We help them get 100% write-offs, and they take their credit, and the credit buys them Bitcoin. Okay, imagine the bank buying you Bitcoin, and then you sell off the portion of Bitcoin after 2 years when you ROI, pay the cards off, the rest of the Bitcoin is yours. Okay, incredible investment. Then we have real estate, Section 8, Airbnb, long-term rental. I've done all of these. And then we also have a personal brand investment guide. So how to scale your personal brand. And I have a free coaching session that I include inside of Credit Class. Okay, so we give you all the tools to take this 0% credit and to turn it into cash flow by buying cash flowing producing assets with the bank's money. In addition, we have 25 8-figure entrepreneurs that I've had the pleasure of interviewing inside of our community, and all of those calls are recorded. Plus, we have weekly live calls with myself, and I bring on other guests, and we have an exclusive Discord that's active with over 1,000 members. So if you'd like to join Credit Class and you don't want to do this alone, then I highly recommend you click the link down in the description, watch the entire video, and book a call with my team, and we will gladly do a credit discovery call with you where we can look at where you're currently at and offer you the best solution. And with all that being said, happy hunting. Go steal your 100K from the bank.